Palesa, what are you doing, girl? Hey guys, I'm Pela and welcome to the show. Listen, we've got some football fever happening in studio tonight, but I'll tell you more about that later, so keep tuned in and you'll see what I'm talking about. Right now though, we've got the lady who is having the whole of South Africa right now thinking, what the Palesa, how are you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am laughing because there's no other reaction that one can have.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You got voted off with an idol in your pocket, the queen of idols.
The ultimate survivor sin.
Okay, good. Let's just show them the idol. So that's the idol right there. So anybody who wants to buy it, okay.
Maybe I can use it. Maybe I can use it to hypnotize someone to give me R1 million now.
Exactly. Let's talk about that moment. Why did you trust Tom after he disappointed you guys? I think 2 times on a vote.
Honestly, I didn't trust Tom. I mean, I could never trust Tom, you know, more than anything. I definitely didn't trust Tom. Survivor is a very tricky game because it plays a lot on your mind. There's so much happening. You're always thinking about new ways, and especially when you're like me in that position, you're at the ultimate bottom, you have no allies whatsoever, and you're sort of looking for ways out. And even though I had an idol, I knew it could only sustain me for, you know, so much time because I'm still, you know, on the line to be out from the majority alliance. So it really wasn't a point that I trusted Tom because I knew, I mean, Tom can never be too honest with me. It really wasn't that. But I fought with myself in my own mind for the longest time before deciding not to play the idol.
What words were you looking for at Tribal Council for you to play the idol?
Look, Tribal Council, I couldn't even hear anything people were saying because I was in my mind so much. From the minute I walked into Tribal Council to the very last second before the votes were read, the only thing that happened in my mind was, do I play it, don't I play it, do I play it, don't I play it? And because so much has happened, you were recalling all things like, you know, the time, the Tribal Council before that, I played an idol when I wasn't supposed to, and now was sort of like my last moments to actually try. And if I did, you know, if they did vote out PK, at least I knew I had something else to sustain me for one more vote. And that is exactly what I was looking for. But yeah.
Prior to Tribal Council, why didn't you and the rest of the guys that were not part of the alliance try anything, like try the whole split the vote or just something?
Who's this? Me and PK?
You and PK?
Those are the only 2 people that are not in the alliance. What do we split the vote to? 1-1.
Okay, that's a good
you know
one.
That's what I mean? There was nothing
that's
there.
A good one, yeah.
There was nothing there for us.
So, Tom lied to your face. I don't think there's any love lost between the 2 of you.
No, man, it's expected, and there's definitely no love lost. We're openly in dislike of one another, and I'm happy with that. I'm happy to move on with my life that way.
Okay. Talking about the alliances, the alliance of 7, because there weren't any other alliances. There was just one alliance of 7. Were you at any point frustrated that nobody else is playing an individual game and everybody is relying on the 7? That you were not part of, unfortunately?
I was disappointed and I was frustrated because, I mean, Survivor is such an amazing game and it's a game that you need to play, right? When you go into the merge, you're expecting people to start thinking about themselves and thinking about their own game. But then they were under this amazing spell by Werner, I suppose, who, you know, they were following sort of blindly, and they just said, this is our picking order, this is what we're going to do. We're former Mindanao, plus the 2 former Lausanne, and this is what we're going to do. And, you know, it was so yawn-worthy because, you know, what were they doing? Why weren't they trying to even play?
But, I mean, looking back now, I'm sure you've seen previous episodes. Do you still hold the same view that they were all going with Werner? Because, like, let's be honest, some of the votes were votes that Jean wanted.
Maybe for this particular Tribal Council was, you know, Jean had a little bit of influence, but for most of it, it really was Werner. I do think if Werner had decided on that day to want to sort of change the game, Werner is very careful about it because he makes the decisions without making it look like he makes the decisions. So to the people that he's aligned with, he'll still let them believe that they're making decisions. And that's how you get people to sort of keep on trusting you and not feel like, oh, we're following you blindly, which ultimately they were.
Okay, then that brings out another question though. If that's how you think of Werner, Why were you guys always saying that Katinka is this mastermind? where did that come from? Because clearly, or is it like this Verna thing? Is it a new thing after watching the episode, or even on the island you're feeling the same way?
We were definitely feeling the same way on the island.
So where does Katinka fit into all of that?
Okay, so the first time we got onto the island, it's very strange because, you know, like Shanae said on the first tribal council after merge, that we felt a lot like visitors on the island, you know, like we don't belong there because, you know, they're making all the decisions. And Katinka, I guess, was there to, you know, she said the wrong things at the wrong time at the very beginning. But also the one thing that made her a little bit dangerous was that she's sweet, she's strong at challenges, and she wins quite a lot. So she can still win, I mean, all the way to the top. But also she's very close to a lot of people. So she has a very close relationship with Verna, which is, you know, almost sort of the leader of the alliance. And she's very close with Annalise, who's also, you know, started to become a big decision maker in the majority alliance. So someone like that is a type of a glue in an alliance like that. So yeah, it makes her dangerous in her own way. She was a good player.
Okay, I still think that you guys were blaming her for things that had nothing to do with her. But anyway, that's just my opinion. Okay, let's talk about your game.
Try getting somebody to tell you not to drink coffee when you're hungry, okay?
Okay, cool. So let's talk about your game. How would you categorize your game? Was it a strategic one? Was it a social one? Because we at home see it differently depending on our feelings about you as a player.
Right.
Okay, what was your game?
I definitely feel that my game was a very strategic one. I went in initially feeling like, okay, I want to sort of lay low, but that's obviously not in my personality, because as soon as things started becoming dangerous from me in the beginning of the game, I was like, okay, it's time for me to do something. I was lucky to sort of bump into some beautiful clues and idols, but it was really about how I used those clues and those idols to work in my advantage. So, I mean, you can have a piece of paper which is a clue, but not everyone can use the strategy to try and make it, you know, benefit them in their own outcome. So I do feel like my game was very strategic.
Do you think your alliance with Vusi was a mistake?
My alliance with Vusi was definitely not a mistake at all. In Survivor, you definitely need somebody that you trust, someone that you know has your back. And Vusi was that person for me from the very beginning of the game.
Why?
I mean, it just happened that way. I guess, you know, because Survivor is a social game, you always sort of gravitate to people. You just gravitate to people naturally. And the same way you do at work, the way you do in your everyday social life, we just gravitated towards each other. And he then became my safe place in the game. And so someone that I would bounce off ideas with, and someone that, you know, I knew had my back. And that also gave me a lot of courage to do some of the things that I did in the game.
Okay, speaking of your game, we've got a little video here of our favorite moments of Queen of Idols. Let's see that now.
Okay.
And do it.
Speaking of a thing, there is a thing that I came here to fetch. May I?
Yes, absolutely.
My idol.
Right, Palesa, that is indeed a hidden immunity idol.
Palesa, as much as what I disagree with you, that was not. Well done. Hat off.
Look, that's what we call a TV moment.
Yes, girl.
What was it like for you when that moment happened? When you stood up and went in there, looking all regal and stuff?
Look, it was the most amazing thing I could have done in my life, you know. A Survivor first as well. And, you know, fetching that idol wasn't just about, you know, me going to fetch my idol. But there were a lot of things that were happening in the tribe as well. And I needed Tom to be uneasy. And, I mean, I could have left it there for the time that I needed to play it. But that was the one move that made him play his idol, which I needed to flash out. So that was also a strategic move to sort of throw him off his game. And I got exactly what I needed from that particular tribal council, which was Tom flashing out his idol.
Look, Shanae was here last week. She had some very nice things to say about you. What's your relationship with her like?
Look, in the beginning, she's so funny. I love her. In the beginning, with Seamus, you know, Seamus might have been the first to leave, but he was a very pivotal part in what happened on Survivor, because from then it caused a big split. And so her and I were never be able to interact in the beginning. Yeah. But as soon as we were at the Visayas tribe and, you know, we started talking a little bit more and we won together, and then she was sort of moving this way, we were getting to know each other. I'm like, look, she's a really cool chick. She's really funny. She's very sociable. She just likes to have a good time. And look, I've got love for her a lot.
Okay, that's sweet. Okay, let's go back to Tom for a second. You guys had a love and hate relationship. I believe we've got some visuals of some of the moments that we enjoyed between the two of you.
Don't pretend you're the only one who does stuff around here. Like you're the and you do everything. You heard me. You heard me.
Please don't swear.
You heard me.
I'm not.
That's not how it is. You do. You do it all the time. God has the strangest sense of humor. The two people who were ready to rip each other apart yesterday won this together. Look at this. I didn't want it to happen, but Tom did make it to merge, and I must say, I respect him for that.
Oh my gosh, guys.
We've always said this. We're never going to be the best of friends.
No, we're not.
We are the firehouse together. Are we going to work together or not?
The minute we got here, my head was in the chopping block by Palesa and by Vusi. Now they want me to join their tribe because they want my number. Yeah, man.
Every molecule of my body repels against you.
Yeah.
I think the only question to ask in this situation is, I mean, were you genuine when you extended your olive branch to him, or were you just looking for a number to get you ahead?
Of course, I was just looking for a number.
Okay.
Tom and I, like we said, and you know, the great thing about Tom and I is that we're not there sort of skinnering behind each other's backs. Yeah. We openly dislike one another. You know, there are things about our relationship that have just gone completely wrong. But when we do work together, it actually is, we make an amazing team. But I feel like, you know, it pains me to say this, but maybe we're just too much alike, and we're like two bulls in a kraal. And so, you know, our personalities clash quite a lot. And so, yeah, every molecule of my body repels against you, or some of the things that you say. But, you know, yeah, if I don't see him again, it doesn't change my life.
Yeah, I gotta ask you about the fight between PK and Tom. I'm sure the visuals, my producers are gonna kill me. I was watching that and it made me uncomfortable. Like, it's one of those rare moments where you're watching television and you physically are affected by what's happening on screen. Yeah. What was it like for you guys on the island? What was it like for you
that particular fight was gold for me. Okay. It was amazing to watch. I had fun because I was sitting right next to it. And I mean, I'm at the bottom of an alliance. It's always good to see things go wrong that are not with you. And I know it sounds pretty terrible that I'm saying that, but it is true, you know. I enjoyed every moment of that fight, and I was laughing and I was giggling, but pretty much because, you know, you're always looking for cracks when you're on Survivor. And when you see a crack that's not, you know, affecting you, you always feel like it's an opportunity for something different, and an opportunity for you to go another step in the game. So sometimes chaos is a good thing in a game like Survivor.
Okay, but weren't you guys worried that it might escalate beyond just words?
No, I wasn't. I mean, Tom fought with Vusi, Tom fought with me, Tom fought with PK. I know how Tom fights, and it wasn't going to get physical. And even, you know, who knows? Maybe if it was, he could have been thrown out. That would have been nice to watch.
Okay. So here's the thing. You did take Tom on a reward.
I did, yes.
You had your own ulterior motives.
Right.
You've already told us that you only took him because you wanted his number. I was going to ask you why trust him. You've already said that you trusted him simply because you had no other option but to trust him.
Yeah.
Okay? But we have a little surprise of an exclusive footage that you guys at home have not seen yet.
Okay.
It's an exclusive right here. So nobody has seen this but you guys. It's of you and Tom the morning after.
My night was absolutely amazing.
Stop looking.
This looks bloody beautiful, thank you.
It's like the weirdest
It's so
picture
weird.
to see.
It's so strange.
frenemy?
Frenemies. At least I have something else up my sleeve, but I'm going for the win.
Well, anything to say on that?
A toast for frenemies.
Thank you. Okay, let's get to know you a little bit, okay? Who is Palesa? What do you do?
So first and foremost, and the most important thing is I'm a mother, and that's my most important job. But I'm a radio presenter and producer, so I do quite a lot of things. I'm a voiceover artist, I'm an MC, and. So I'm really just trying to build my own brand, build my career, and so just climb up my own little ladder. Family-wise,
are you married?
I am very single.
Okay. We got the Bachelor. Essay coming on Mnet, so hey.
I don't know about the Bachelor. You'll have to leave all those other girls and, you know, just come to me exclusively.
Okay, cool. Tell us, I understand that you, there's a charity thing that you do with the shelter and food stuff. Tell us about that.
Yes, so every December, a bunch of friends and I, we take kids from an orphanage, and you know, some of them have sponsors, so they go off on holiday with their sponsors, and some of them are left there alone and they don't get to do anything on their holidays. So we take them on a little trip in Hartbeespoort, and then we spend a weekend with them having fun. We go on water rides. So we want them to have the experience of what December feels like to all the other kids. So when they also get back to the orphanage like all the other kids do, they have stories to tell. Oh. And I mean, just those simple things in life. And it also teaches my son as well to be giving, because he gets to come as well and make friends with, you know, those who are less fortunate than he is.
All right, cool. Palesa's not going anywhere. We're gonna ask her some more questions. But remember, you guys, we've got some soccer stuff happening later on. So stay tuned, and remember, subscribe and comment on. I think we've got a live chat going. Send your AMA questions on there, because we're gonna be putting them on screen and on the show later on. I'm gonna ask you some questions. It's quick fire questions. All you have to do is just ask them as quickly as you can. First thing that comes to your mind, okay? All right, cool. First question. Funniest or most memorable moment on Survivor?
Vusi being scared of rats.
Biggest life lesson learned on Survivor?
You're stronger than you think you are.
Survivor most likely to become a true friend in future?
Vusi and Shanae.
Okay. Shows, as in TV shows, you missed while you were on the island?
Queen Sugar.
Okay. Survivor you'd least likely to be friends with? Okay, we know that one. 3 qualities you value most in a person?
Honesty, loyalty, and just, yeah.
One quality you value least in a person, sorry?
Being deceiving.
Okay. Famous person you'd most like to have lunch with?
Oprah.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure?
Chocolates.
Your worst habit?
Ooh, I don't know.
Biggest misconception about you?
That I'm too hard, and maybe I'm quite emotionless, and I have a soft side.
All right.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna play Never Have I Ever. So you've got 2 thumbs there. Can you just pick them up? Yeah. So I'm gonna ask you some questions. If you've done the thing, obviously it's thumbs up. If you've done it, is the one. Yeah.
Okay,
that
there we go.
If you haven't done it, you know.
Okay.
You just go thumbs down. Okay. Question number 1. Never have I ever accidentally pocket dialed my boss. Okay. Never have I ever pretended that I speak a language so that I didn't have to talk to somebody. Like you pretend that you don't speak a language so that you don't have to speak to somebody, all right? Okay, never have I ever gone out in the clothes from the day before. Okay. Never have I ever said a swear word on live radio. Okay. Never have I ever snooped through a friend's bathroom or bedroom without them knowing. Okay, why not? I mean, if you're at somebody's house, don't you want to see?
We want to see their deeper, darker
you know
secrets.
What I mean?
Come
on. And all of that. I understand that we've got a video from Leandra Engelbrecht from Channel 24, and she's got a question for you. Let's see that.
Hi, I'm Leandra, the TV editor at Channel 24. As a viewer of the show, we get to see things unfold that while on the island, the castaways are oblivious to. Watching the show now, what has surprised you most about what's going on behind the scenes?
I think the most surprising things, I mean, you don't get to see all the conversations and how things happen, especially if you're not in a particular alliance. So it's very interesting to see how other decisions were made, because some of them you only find out at tribal council by the way people voted, but you never get to hear what they're saying because you can't exactly follow them saying, what are you guys saying? You know, you're not on their alliance. So it was very interesting to see how things sort of unraveled and the little, you know, talks people were having and, you know, how the ultimate sort of decision came about.
Quick one. I've always wondered when I watch Survivor, the American, or whatever.
Yeah.
Are you guys not allowed to talk to each other when you leave camp to tribal council? Like that time in between, you're not allowed to talk to each other?
No, we don't get to interact during that time.
okay.
I mean, everything that happens on Survivor, everything you see is exactly what takes place, and nothing happens in between. So you get the raw version of all the emotions and all the talks.
Oh, okay, cool. Hey, I promised you that you guys are going to be part of the show as we do every week. Right now is Ask Me Anything, where you guys can send us your questions and ask us anything that you want to know about the show, or just simply just make a comment. And right now we've got our first comment or question, and this comes from Carla, and Carla wants to know, what does everyone do for fun?
I mean, what is fun on a game like Survivor? You're always paranoid. Why is this fish looking at me funny? You know, what are they saying? Where are they going? So there isn't a lot of time for fun, but every now and then we're telling stories around the fire at night, you know, talking about, you know, when we were young and, you know, the funny stories of our lives and our siblings. So we get to interact a lot, and that's pretty much what we do for fun when we get the chance.
Okay, let's see. This is from Raquel van Niekerk, and she wants to know, these idols are like being on Oprah. You get one, everybody gets one. How lucky can Palesa be?
I'm very grateful that I was actually quite lucky on the show. I mean, from the very first 3 days, I found a clue to an idol. So, and I kept bumping into these things. But I think luck is one thing, and using that luck to your advantage is another complete different story altogether.
All right, cool. Next one. This comes from Michelle Govenda, and Michelle wants to know, how do you deal with all the comments and backstabbing that happens on the island? I bet you sometimes have to fake a smile in certain moments.
Absolutely. I mean, Survivor, if you don't like to be deceived and all of that, you shouldn't be on Survivor. That's what the game is about, right? It's about people sort of talking and deceiving one another to get to the top. So it's very, very hectic. I mean, you get to feel, like I said, you're super paranoid all the time. When people go up to get water, when they're talking to one another, when they're down on the beach, you're always sort of looking who's speaking with who. And that can keep you on edge like all the time.
But here's the thing though, did you guys know that Verna is a pastor? And now that you know, if you didn't know, what do you feel about how he played the game?
I had no clue that he was a pastor.
Yeah.
But now that I do know that he's a pastor, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, pastors are people that you go and confide in, that you know you have to trust in your church and in your congregation, and everybody sort of goes to them for guidance. And that's exactly what he was, and that's how he became the leader of his alliance. You know, where we see it so far, because he's got those qualities to reel people in, to make them trust them, to make them open up to them, and all those work in his favor in a game like Survivor.
You know what? We've got so many questions here. I hope we can get through all of them. Thank you guys. You guys are very engaged. Kelly, you're a very popular lady, okay? Okay, so let's get into it. The first one comes from, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. It's Yuandre, and she wants to know, what was your first food indulgence after being voted off?
Braai.
Okay.
Braai meat.
Firstly, congratulations. My question is, how did you apply to be on Survivor?
I was literally on my PC at work going through content on the internet. An ad popped up. So I'm a very spontaneous person in that way. And literally, I took my phone, went into one of the production rooms and, you know, held the phone to my face and said something for 30 seconds. And then boom, that's how it happened.
Okay, cool. That was from Quinton. This one is from Michael, and Michael wants to know, I know you don't like Tom, but do you respect him as a contestant?
Yes.
Okay. Dion wants to know, Palesa, I'm so sad. I wish you had won. How would you say Survivor has changed you, and what lessons can you take home with you? Have you taken home with you, sir?
Survivor definitely made me realize how important the small things are in life. You know, the things that we take for granted, the food in our lives, the people in our life that keep us safe emotionally. Those people are very important to us. And I actually realized that I was stronger than I thought I was. So I came back and put myself through a health and fitness challenge to actually try and push my boundaries. Now that I've seen that I've actually got more physical strength than I thought I did. And there we have it.
Okay, one wants to know, what do you do the week before the game started? Where did you stay until it started? I suppose she means like in the country that you were in the Philippines. What did you do the week before you started filming? I'm hoping that I'm interpreting this right.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, pretty much almost as soon as we hit the Philippines, the game was about to start.
Okay.
But I can tell you what I did a little bit before that. I ate everything I could find before I went.
All right, cool. Sorry, doll. The other players were sneaky, and that's from Susan. Yeah. Gutted, absolutely gutted. Well played, Queen. And that's from Stacey Lee. If you could have given any of the current survivors an idol, Who would it have been?
None of
That's
them.
an interesting one. That's from Rivon.
I'd
If you had an
probably-
option, though, if they were
Yeah.
saying that you're not going to leave with this idol, give it to somebody, who would you have given it to?
I'd give it to PK. I mean, he's the only person that wanted to play the game. Everybody else was just a follower.
Okay, cool. Have you ever had a crush on someone on the island? And that's from Gemma.
No, unfortunately, everybody was married. Boring.
Aside from Tom, who's the castaway who you are most surprised got this far?
Definitely Annalise.
Okay.
She's very resilient.
Did you enjoy meeting new people on going to the island? And that's from Quinton again.
I enjoyed every second of it.
Why?
I mean, it's a beautiful place to be in. The way in which it is, it's a game like Survivor. It's a once in a lifetime opportunity, and you'll never get to play a game like this again unless you guys, give me a ring so I can come through to the island again. But it's amazing. The circumstances are beyond what you'd find in everyday life. So meeting people in that setting is a lot different than meeting people in everyday life. And when you make friends there, you make friends of a lifetime.
What else would you say the experience has given you, like beyond just like?
For me, the experience gave me a very deep spiritual journey. I prayed harder than I've ever prayed in my life in that game, and I got a closeness to my creator, closer than I've ever felt before. And when you're out there, everything is so fresh. I mean, I'm a city girl, so I've never seen so many stars in my life. When it's night and you look in the sky, it almost looks like the paparazzi flashing in your eyes. It's beautiful, and so it brought me a lot closer to myself and to my creator in ways I'd never imagined it could be. So a very, very deep sense of spiritual upliftment that I got there.
Oh, cool. Fair enough. Remember, you guys, you can also be part of the show. All you have to do is just send us your comments or questions by going to our social media platforms. One of those pages would be Survivor_SA. Just use the hashtag SurvivorSA. Or you can just comment on this very video. We are on YouTube on this channel. Comment there, subscribe, or like this video. Madam?
Yes.
Let's just play some 30 seconds. What do you think?
Let's do it.
If anybody sends a question, I'll just ask you as we finish this. Okay. 30 seconds, how it works?
I do.
Answer questions as quickly as you can. Let's put in the clock. Question number 1. Port Louis is the capital of which country?
Oh, I have no idea.
David Hicks is a renowned chef judge on which show on Mnet?
My Kitchen Rules.
Which shark species is the biggest?
The great white.
Whale shark. Danish is spoken in which country?
In Denmark.
Yes. Where would you find the Ngorongoro crater?
Oh, I have no idea.
Which animal cartoon is Snoopy?
A dog.
Yes. Which human organ removes toxins from your blood?
The liver.
All right, cool. I think you got 4. That's good. That's a good one. Remember, you guys can also win some awesome prizes right here by simply going to our website, which is mnet.tv/SurvivorSA, and answer a simple question. But before I tell you about that question, me and the rest of the team would love to congratulate one of your castaways. I think it's Katinka. Yes, Katinka. Katinka has been nominated and is one of the top 40 of the Sari Voorblad Geseg competition. That's Sari Voorblad Geseg competition. Translation, the Sari magazine front page faces competition. Yeah, I did it. So congratulations, Katinka. But you can win prizes by simply answering this question. It says, who won the reward challenge? In this episode that just aired. Who won the reward challenge? Okay, and these are the prizes that you can win.
Attention castaways, be a part of the action and win big with Survivor SA Philippines and Mnet. Just watch Survivor SA every Thursday at 7 p.m. Go to mnet.tv/Survivor SA and answer the weekly question. You can earn additional entries by exploring the island and finding the hidden phone in our Huawei 360 VR experience. Each week, you stand a chance at winning a massive prize bundle, including an awesome Huawei P20 Pro, a delicious one-year supply of Steers Wacky Wednesday burgers, a Cape Union Mart voucher valued at 10,000 Rand, and a brand new DStv Explorer 2. Remember, every entry you earn goes into the draw for the grand prize of of a tropical island experience for 4, courtesy of Cathay Pacific and Club Med. Are you game? Then let's play with Survivor SA Philippines. Brought to you and exclusive to Mnet.
Well, that's what.
Wearing my crown.
Tashrik, I'm sorry, man. We gotta go, but I will ask her your question. Tashrik wants to know, why do you think Tony chose to write your name and not Katinka as she suggested?
Tony was under the Werner spell.
Okay, cool. You got that. It's our final Survivor Challenge. This is a segment, obviously, if you are a regular here. Every week we get castaways to play a little game with us, our own little version of Survivor, whatever. Remember I told you guys, Hori, this is a sports themed episode. Well, the reason for that is because DStv is offering all their subscribers, from Access to Compact to Compact Plus, an opportunity from the 13th to the 31st to have access to all their Super Sport channels. Wow. There you go. You understand? So from the 13th to the 31st, you, whatever subscription you're on, will have access to some sports. So you can watch the finale of the World Cup, you can watch the Wimbledon finale as well, or some rugby, okay? But for now, since it's our sports theme, Madame here is gonna play a Survivor Challenge, right? All you have to do is, you're gonna bounce this ball. So you need to keep it bouncing like that, right? Okay. But you're gonna alternate. So you blow the vuvuzela, and you keep this bouncing, okay? At any time that this stops bouncing, the game is over, okay? We're just gonna see how many of the bounces can you do, whatever. So, but you have to alternate. Like after, let's say, after every 2 bounces, you blow the vuvuzela, or you can blow them. Okay, blowing the vuvuzela is gonna be the bigger challenge, I think. All right, cool. Your challenge starts now. Go. Yes. Okay. Clearly, Palesa is really good at this. We could be here the whole night, but I don't have time for that. I gotta go. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you for coming and playing with us. Remember, guys, we are here every Thursday at 8:05, right after the broadcast of Survivor on channel 101, which is Mnet. We are here to give you the lowdown on what happened on the show and behind the scenes, and we get to chat to evictees, sadly. And we'd like to also thank our sponsors, the Huawei P20 Pro. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for your questions and comments. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye. Bye. I'm very competitive. I didn't tell you that. I'm like, I cannot lose. I cannot lose. But that was fun, eh? Yeah, it was. Very chilled. Yeah. Where do I put this? Let me put this down here. And actually, you know, after winning that reward challenge, when they said you have to take someone, I actually asked them.